In the beginning, man hunkered in caves and trees and tall grasses, hiding from everything that was running around and trying to eat him. Then he got the idea of drawing the beasts that were chasing him on the cave walls to document that he had been chased, and by what. Then someone else came along and decided it looked fun, so they started drawing all over the walls too. Eventually, they started drawing on little rocks and realized that throwing them at the ground was kind of fun. A few years later, they were using pigments and paper to make something they called art, and making things they called games like checkers and chess and backgammon to pass the time. Then some guy flew a kite and got electrocuted and said, "We need to control this stuff." Shortly after, there were computers to play on to pass the time, and a guy named Notch decided to use his time productively and take art, games, and computers, put them together, and make a little thing called Cave Game. As you might be able to see, this isn't going to be like my usual video. This video is going to be about the history of Minecraft while I'm building my iron farm uh, and mining up materials that next episode will allow us to go into the nether and get to the fortress. In other words, let's fill in some boring content with me talking about history. Maybe it won't be that different. In 2008, Marcus Person Notch, I hope I pronounced that right, Person, that's what it looks like, was a game developer for King Games. During his free time, he played around, prototyping his own games. This is just exactly the kind of stuff I did when I was on my free time at work. 2009, Notch left King in March to work on Ruby Dung, which was his own thing. In May, oh, in May, Notch released his first public alpha build on a TGI source. The original name was, as I said, Cave Game, and all you could do was move dirt and cobblestone around. But it was so much different than anything that had come before. Over the next year or so, Notch continued to update the game using community feedback extensively. During this time, ending by December of 2009, the name was changed to Minecraft, multiplayer capability, survival mode, and hostile creatures were added. By the end of the year, C418 added ambient music. This was classic Minecraft. December 23rd, Minecraft entered NDev and added paintings by Christopher Zetterstrand. I'm sorry, Christopher, I'm not even trying. 2010, NDev lasted all of 2 months. On February 27th, 2010, Notch ushered in InfDev, where he experimented with infinite worlds. Then in June, Alpha came. Updates were regular but spontaneous. One of these introduced Redstone. In October, the whole thing went to hell. The Nether was born, along with biomes. But back in InfDev, there were a few notable developments. Three YouTubers, Green Slimy, Malarest, and Pentaclam, invented the game of spleefing. This was the first Minecraft minigame. In August, another YouTuber created a little video called Batman and Isaac Unite. Um, you may know this YouTuber, he's Captain Sparkles. Also in August, a player named Copeland ran into a creature that had been introduced on 4chan. A creature that would literally define Minecraft in ways no one really expected. Herobrine. Every patch note from that time for years to come would include the line, "Removed Herobrine." September introduced the universal sign for peace, crouching. Something else was going on about this time. Paul Saris Jr. started the ball rolling in 2010 with one of the very first Let's Plays. And at the same time, a player named Halcoon began showing the world what was possible in Minecraft by building a one-to-one copy replica of the Starship Enterprise. Mind you, this is way before there were hardly any block selections. The Internet FTW took this to a whole nother direction using Redstone to build a completely functional calculator in-game with 60 bits of RAM. And this was before repeaters. October 2nd changed the game forever. A YouTuber uploaded a very simple video. It was called Minecraft Multiplayer Fun. However, the fact that this was PewDiePie would end up opening Minecraft up to millions. In December, Jens Bergenstein took over development. You probably know this name. This is Jeb. Yogscast did the first multiplayer Let's Play. Two creators named Housemaster and George420 created the most infamous server, an anarchy server, called Two Builders, Two Tools. As of right now, 2B2T is the oldest anarchy server in existence. Finally, FV Disco created the Temple of Notch. Ethos Lab uploaded his first Let's Play, and December began the beta phase of Minecraft. 2011, Seth Bling created a redstone roller coaster. Kurt J. Mack set off for the Farlands. King V-Dog, remember that name, created the Ether, whatever. This name will come up again. In August, Denian84 unveiled a working computer within Minecraft. That's even a step above the calculator. September introduced the adventure update with new biomes, structures, and terrain features like ravines. And a guy named Noob Group, whatever, introduced a little thing called Skyblock. Minecraft's first season started about this time. This was the first SMP. August introduced villager trading of 2012. A guy named Grood Boulderfist introduced the UHC idea, ultra hardcore. Shotbow PvP servers introduced death banning. And Mojang hired Bucket, a small team of development that included Dinnerbone, Broom, Evil Seth, and Tog. About this time is when Hermitcraft entered the scene. As you can see, I am literally just running up and down this stairwell, figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing. So, we'll just leave me to figure that crap out while we go on. The October update that year introduced the Wither. This would change Minecraft forever. It seems like at this during this period of time, about every month something is happening that will change Minecraft forever. Because in November, a mod called Hero Brian's Mansion came out, and Hero Brian's already been mentioned. Nothing big there, but who did it? Kind of is because that's Hypixels. Yeah, Hypixels. Some of the biggest mods of all time come from them. In December, Zsumavoid created a game called Rush. Again, this is going to change the game forever because this evolved into Bed Wars. CubeCraft came out with several mini games as well. 2013. My favorite thing about 2013 is a little short started called Villager News. I'm sure you've heard of it. If not, Google it. It is great. Hermitcraft's second season came in, and nothing really big about that except a little certain redstoner named Mumbo Jumbo joined the crew. In September, Dan TDM started a thing. He started showing his showcases in Dr. Traorius's lab. The Minecon 13 announced realms, but somehow over time this was overshadowed by the dedicated Wham meme. Captain Sparkles and Paul Soros Jr., you've heard those names before, created the original Minecraft handbook series. Ragu 42 began the SciCraft SMP, and a small YouTuber uploaded a tree build. This is really nothing big at the time. But this YouTuber's name was Grian. Brian. It's maybe a little bit more interesting to be hearing about this kind of stuff while I'm actually just mining. This deep slate's going to be pretty useful when I go into the nether because it's blast resistant, which means that as I'm crawling over lava, the stupid gas can't blow me off into the lava. Let's move on to 2014. 2014 was almost the beginning of the end for Minecraft. Nobody really knew what was going to happen here, but Microsoft bought Jeb out for 2.5 billion. But I want to point something out to you guys. Jeb said the reason he was selling was because he was tired of people complaining about his updates, about everything he did. I, I got to point out to the Minecraft community, man, we're not doing anything different now. We shoved Jeb away from his creation because we wanted to bitch and moan. Let's get our act together and kind of enjoy what we have. Anyway, in March, a guy named Taro Kitchen completed the game in 45 minutes and 7 seconds. This was kind of the first real speed run. I mean, there had been a few before that, but he was kind of the first big one. And then things really slowed down. In March, a guy named Mr. Squishy completed a fully functional Pac-Man game within Minecraft. 2015, Minecon introduced story mode, and that's pretty much it that happened in 2015. I mean, Minecraft at this point was kind of hovering along. It was doing okay, but not anything like it had. 2016 introduced one of the most controversial updates to date, the combat update. And this is only for Java. Bedrock didn't exist yet, and somehow when Bedrock did come in, it didn't get this update. But it did get the Elytra and Shulker boxes. Two very game changing things. Education Edition came out during this. On the 2B2T note, a YouTuber named The Camping Rusher made a video on 2BT. This is the first time that that Anarchy server had kind of been brought into the limelight, and a lot of new players joined the server, and the old players had a cow about this massive rush of new players. There were long waiting lines to log in. Uh, this kind of created a whole noobs versus legacy players thing, which we even see today. Minecon 2016 was the last physical Minecon. And to heighten all of this dark history for Minecraft, this was the heyday of the hacking players. Livinator would hop into various different servers and bunny hop through everything and destroy everything, kill people left and right. And he was just the biggest known one. There were a lot of hackers during this period. People were losing interest in Minecraft. In 2017, Mr. Squishy showed up again. Now he had Pokemon Red this time, fully within Minecraft. Does anybody else find this like almost freaky what you can do with Minecraft? A YouTuber came onto the scene beating Minecraft with a steering wheel. I, I I'm not even sure how. I mean, I'm sure you don't even know his name. I mean, this was Technoblade, and he made history. About this time, Ray's Works created the first Ender Dragon farm. Minecon 2017 introduced the mob boat, and infamously, the Phantoms won. Now, here's the important thing for me. Bedrock was created as a universal platform out of several mobile and console versions. And another big YouTuber started looking at Minecraft himself. This is the year that MatPat made his first Minecraft video. And it was uh, regarding how Minecraft is breaking gaming. The worst part about building these villager farms is the long waits for the kids to grow up. I mean, I could just create 10 villagers real quickly. and the iron farm would be working within an hour. The problem is that kind of wastes uh, my opportunity to get all of the enchantments that I really want from this. That's why I kind of planned this video as a filler before the nether so that I had time to get my armor and enchantments up to snuff. You will notice, of course, that I'm using the uh, Fletcher as an opportunity to get emeralds because that is probably the easiest way. Later game, when the iron farm is up and working, you can get many, many more emeralds from the Smith villagers. But right now, this is probably the quickest way to get started. So let's go ahead and talk about 2018. Ant Venom introduced Bit MC, who eventually became almost the 2B2T chronicler. CubeCraft moved to Bedrock, tired of competing with Hypixels. Gryan joined Hermitcraft. There was the update Aquatic, and a guy named Tommy Innit uploaded his first video. Here in a minute, we're probably going to talk about the Renaissance. And no, I'm not talking about the European Renaissance where, you know, we had Leonardo da Vinci and some other like kind of known artists and all. No, no, this is the Minecraft Renaissance. And realistically, I'm not sure 100 years from now, but what some of these names might be up there on that same discussion as Leonardo da Vinci and all. Call Me Carson created an SMP called SMP Live. It had Jay Schlatt, Ant Venom, some familiar names, and others. Then came the baby zombie that shook the world. Filza, a long running YouTuber who had been doing uh, a hardcore world through stream, he lost it. A baby zombie killed him and ended his hardcore run, and the clip went viral. About the same time, PewDiePie returned to Minecraft. Kingstar, at this point in time, hosted a Hunger Games themed tournament which included Mr. Beast and Technoblade and others. And the fact is, you get PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, and a clip going viral. The fact is, Minecraft is going to regain popularity right there. The Village Pillage update came out. Dream discovered PewDiePie's World Seed. About this time, a gentleman came over from uh, the uh, Fortnite series and created 100 Days Survival in Hardcore, and his name was Luke the Notable. At some point in time, we'll probably talk more about the whole debacle he created, but you cannot change the fact that he changed the scene drastically. A game called Minecraft Earth came out about this time, and Dream started two series this year that are still going strong today. The Minecraft Butt series and the Manhunt series. And impressively, Mojang ended this year with the Buzzy Bees update, which added bees and beehives and not a whole lot. However, the next year is the year the world blew up. I don't know if you remember this or not, but 2020 had a lot of people walking around with masks and hiding in their homes and trying to keep from getting sick. While they were hiding in their homes, a lot of them downloaded and were playing Minecraft. Mog Swamp got his big break this year, and we all know who Mog Swamp is now. Ray's work, where his works created a raid farm. IJA Minecraft created one block. Now here's one that I found really, really interesting. I mean, this is literally how world changing Minecraft really is. Reporters Without Borders created the uncensored library for people all over the world who could play Minecraft but could not get uncensored news in their country. If you ever get a chance to check it out, go look at it. Pippin FTS began to build the Earth Project. On a smaller note, the Dream SMP started. Horizon, the Horizon, begins destroying pay to win servers, which is another trend we see a lot of today. It's sad that they're still around, to be honest. In May, Minecraft Dungeons came out. Hello Crazy Man became the first to actually reach the Far Lands. Now, if you remember, let's see, it was a few years earlier. I'm trying to find this in my notes. Yeah, this is actually further back than I thought. There was a guy that I mentioned earlier who set out to on foot to reach the uh, Farlands, and he did not actually get there before Hello Crazy Man. But Hello Crazy Man put some unbelievable amount of time into this trip. I mean, he was on for ungodly hours. So anyway, this was the year that the Nether update came out. A group called Earth Computer began seed hunting, trying to find the original seed to Minecraft's starting menu. And Ray's Works once again comes up because he was the first one to get Bedrock, the block, in survival. Psycraft unleashed the first Ender Pearl cannon, but I would say the biggest news for Minecraft during this probably whole year is Mr. Beast got Dream and Technoblade to fight in PvP. Technoblade won. This right there was a crazy boost to Minecraft's players. Illumina HD got all the advancements for the first time, and a player named WadZ created the first netherite beacon in survival. In the background of all of this, shortly after the fight between Dream and Technoblade, all of the Dream drama came up. Dream did a speed run. Uh, he was accused of cheating. He said he didn't cheat. He was accused again of cheating. He said he didn't cheat. We'll find out a little more about that in a little bit. Minecraft forced all players to create a Microsoft account this year, which, oddly enough, many players were not happy about. At this point in time, a player named Prowl started making Bedrock tutorials. And you've heard me mention him. He is actually one of the uh, players one of the YouTubers I actually go to for a lot of my designs. When you're standing here waiting for the villagers to grow up, fishing is like an easy thing to pass time. Mindlessly wandering around is also an easy way to pass time, but you have to remember in Bedrock you go out of like 100 blocks from the village, and those kids aren't aging any. Starting to get string in the iron farm. 2021 though, that's where things really kind of began to get uh, really interesting. Hive moved from Java to Bedrock. Okay, you can still play Hive server on Bedrock today. It came out that Dream, yes, he did cheat, but he did it unknowingly. So is it really cheating? I mean, he obviously can't keep that record because he didn't actually do the work for it, but he didn't know he was cheating. So, I mean, about the time we found this out, three players named Parrot X2, Maypick, and JPEX started something called the Lifesteal SMP. And the idea is you can kill players and take their hearts. A player named Sandiction at this time built a freaking planet in Minecraft. I kid you not. He built a planet. Both Caves and Cliffs 1 and 2 came out this year. And then a player named Figonometry, not to be outdone by uh, what was it? Hello Crazy Man. He walks right past the far lands and reaches the world border. A player named Speed Silver created the civilizations uh, trend that we see today. And then 2021 came up. Nothing really of note happened in 2021. I'm going to point out, I'm talking about the big things that really affected Minecraft. Okay. Now, there were popular YouTubers during 2021, no question. Okay. I'm sorry if I offend you with this, but they really didn't change the layout of the game. Um, 2022 though changed the layout of the game. We'll start with King V Dogs. You probably remember him from creating the Ether, whatever. It's fun. It's a fun mod, and to my understanding, it just came to Bedrock, or it's coming to Bedrock add-ons. So I'm going to have to check that one out. Um, Mojang had hired him a while back because he was just so talented, and this is the year he created the Warden. A player named Flaming Moai started UHC Generations. A couple players named Forge Labs, Lagundo, and Unsorted Guy started Scenario SMP. But the biggest thing that happened this year is we lost one of the most influential uh, Minecraft YouTubers the game had seen. This is the year that Technoblade died. But just remember, Technoblade never dies. 2023. Ish took the idea of player civilizations and he kind of upped the ante. He had 1,000 player civilization. The Tales of Trails update came out. Um, 2B2T finally updated to 1.19. Minecraft Live hosted the very last mob vote. Surprisingly, too many people complained about it. We're almost done, and I'll just spend the rest commenting on the video. But I've got a few things I want to say once I'm done. In 2023, Ebbo literally created art, not visual art, but art through video entertainment. I mean, there's really no other way to describe the parkour civilization. After that, a lot of other players started to look at the same type of thing. In 2024, Parrot X2 took that idea. He left the Lifesteal SMP to create the Unstable SMP. And I know some other players came with him, obviously. I mean, there was Spoke and Wimbu, but I don't think they actually left the Lifesteal SMP at that point in time. I think they kind of did both. And finally, in 2024, a guy named Echo Soldier switched to Bedrock add-ons. Now, let's talk turkey, or chicken, if you will. We've got a lot of people that complain about just about everything Minecraft does. So this message is going to be to you if you're one of the complainers, and it's also to Mojang. I hope they get a hold of this at some point in time. The fact is, you can complain about everything, and the unfortunate fact is, you can change things. If you're going to complain about something Mojang does, you need to really make sure that it's worth potentially losing Mojang, potentially losing Minecraft. You really don't understand. See, from my perspective, 2008, that's not that ancient a history like a lot of you, like it is to a lot of you. In 2008, I was already a full-grown adult. I was already uh, working 40 hours a week. I had two kids. I've seen so many things change. So many big companies and great companies disappear. And here's the thing, Minecraft has given you something that you really don't even know that you were missing because you weren't. You were probably born into this. I wasn't. I remember being amazed at being able to take a little yellow ball guy with a mouth around a screen to eat ghosts. When Final Fantasy VII came out, I was completely floored by how big a story could be told in a video game. The idea that at some point in time I would be able to create my own stories, that wasn't even on the radar. Now you may think, well, if Minecraft goes away, something else will step right in its place. And let me tell you, sometimes that doesn't happen. And sometimes what steps right in its place is much, much worse. I'm not saying don't complain to Mojang, okay? There are things Mojang does that should be complained about, that they should get pushed back from. But if you're doing it over every update, over every pixel that they add, you're not helping things. You're not making it easier for them to want to improve the worlds that we build. So just keep that in mind. And to Mojang, I really hope you hear this. You have something that quite literally changed the world. Through your venue, people are getting news in other countries that they would not have had access to. What more can be done if you just keep going? If Jeb ever hears this, you created an amazing thing. And people my age really, really have a hard time wrapping our minds around just what you did. From my perspective, I'm not quite sure, but what this is instrumental, potentially, as the pen and paper, as fire, the wheel. So if you're going to create a Minecraft 2, be sure that it's better than this one. Now, back to the just regular gameplay, because I'm getting off of my soapbox. I'm sure I'll be on it again at some point in time, because, I have a hard time staying off of it. I will say this to Mojang. I would rather do this, sit here and re-roll villagers for hours on end, than have to spend days traveling around the world trying to find all the different biomes to change a villager. So please, please, just keep it the way it is if you're not going to make it better. I was actually kind of worried about that script being longer than the footage of these 10 days. Obviously, it wasn't. If you'd like to hear more history like this, let me know because there's other areas that we can talk about. We can talk about the history of the unstable SMP. We can talk about the history of 2B2T. Um, we can talk about the top 10 Minecraft YouTubers of all time, most influential ones. I can tell you almost every one of them will be on this list that I just read today. Um, right now, I'm looking for no, no, sorry, I just saw loyalty. I'm looking for mending because that's really the next thing that I need. Frustrating part about this is how many actually good enchantments come up. Like there's the Silk Touch again, but I don't need it anymore. Aqua Affinity, I at some point in time I will use that. I will say the bookshelves get awfully repetitive. I'd say about two-thirds of the re-rolls I do end up with a bookshelf. Four in a row, though. Five in a row. Six. Knockback. I actually do not like that enchantment. Plays havoc with your mob farms. Death Strider, at some point in time, I'll use that. Another bookshelf. You watch a lot of YouTubers, and literally, uh, they will talk about re-rolling for hours on end, but they don't show it. There are times that it really does take a long time to get the one that you're wanting. And unfortunately, from my perspective, in a hardcore world, the two that I'm going to be going for from here on out are the ones that you absolutely need. which will be mending and protection. See efficiency 4. I probably could have put that on pickaxes real easy. If you notice, I've re-rolled all through the night. There's protection, but I want to go for a little bit better protection. Right now, I'm really needing the mending. I used to say, why the heck would anybody need loyalty? But I've actually found uses for it since then. Um, I'm pretty sure in my Realms world, I've literally got every enchantment except for Curse of Binding and Curse of Vanishing. I'm not a real big fan of griefing. Smite, there's something I will be using at some point in time when I fight the Wither. Quick charge, no. From my perspective, crossbows are the most worthless weapon in the game. Another Silk Touch. Going to point out both of them are cheaper than the one that I have, but I've already got him, so Respiration, there's another one I will need. Just not quite yet. Channeling, essential if you're going to make a mob head farm. Multi-shot, nope. I think right here I'm contemplating actually using the axe. Contemplating real hard. He runs away. At this point in time, it's literally been a night and a day. But I don't think it's that much more from here. And at this point in time, I'm just staring off into space. I think he has successfully zoned me out. Aqua Affinity I could use, but not yet. Smite 2. Bookshelf. Bookshelf. I mean, at some point in time, I'll want a bookshelf. I've got plenty of books right now, though. Feather Falling, that's another one that kind of hurt to have to break. Frostwalker. Not my favorite way to do it, but it is fun when you're fighting the Wither to use Frostwalker on water. Death Strider. I think at this point in time, depression was kicking in, and I was preparing to just take what I could get. But then strength came from nowhere. I think if a Prop 4 were to pop up there like right now, I would go ahead and take it. But the third Silk Touch, and I guarantee if I were trying to get Silk Touch right there, it would have taken a lot longer. How many pixels are in that carpet, I wonder? Probably something I could find out easy enough, but I'm really not that enthusiastic about it right now. But apparently at the moment I was. Either that or I got up to go pee. Oh, Riptide. Riptide's another fun one. Channeling, loyalty. I just don't deal with tridents often enough to really get much out of that. Probably could have used that luck at the sea on a fish on my fishing pole, but if I remember right, at this point in time, I was screaming at the computer, "Stop offering me bookshelves!" But he's gonna do what he's gonna do. Now, what you're gonna love is here in just a minute. I'm actually going to get mending, and I'm going to almost delete it. To me, the absolute worst part about this is having to chase the villagers down. There are two specific points of the day that uh you can actually get them to come to you with the lectern. Other than that, they're just wandering around. They don't care about their job, their workplace. If you're wondering why I didn't go ahead and take us up to 2026, the reality is in 2026 we really 2025 and 2026 we really don't know what the ramifications are of what YouTubers are doing right now. It's hard to see what's going to happen out of that. I'm sure some major trends are happening right now as we speak, but there's not really a way to know what those are yet. Because while the ones that I mentioned were all happening, the fact is there was also a lot of other stuff going on that just didn't make the cut. There's Breach. That would have been fun if I get a mace. So I've literally been re-rolling this guy for a full 2 days and one night, and I'm starting my second night. There's Fortune. I probably could have worked with that. Another Fortune. And at five, that would have been worth going ahead and getting Fortune one. But again, at this point in time, mending is the important thing. I think I'm thinking about impaling him right now. One of these days, I might also talk about the importance of Minecraft to YouTube. Because you may not realize this, while Minecraft needed YouTube to get going, YouTube used Minecraft quite a bit too. Sharpness, I probably could have used that. See, in a survival world, I would kind of take what I the best ones I get from the start, but I don't necessarily keep re-rolling for exactly what I need. In hardcore though, I'm safe right here. So really it's kind of in my best interest to sit here and make sure I get that mending that I need. Man, sharpness four though, that kind of hurt to break that from there. See, I almost deleted the workstation. That would have sucked because it's actually a good price on mending too. So let's go ahead and head on back so we can pop this on. I believe I'm going to put it on my pit on my uh, pickaxe because I almost always will do my pickaxe before doing anything else because you're going to be using that pickaxe to mine uh, all of the ores that give you experience, like diamonds and redstone and quartz and lapis. So if you can get it on mending, you can just keep that pickaxe for the entire game. It's able to get it on my chest plate too. That's really kind of nice. So let's get some more villagers going. I really think it's just going to be one villager. I almost hit that little cat again. Yep. Now I'm going to go for my protection. So if you're wondering about the pattern of the beds, by the time I'm done, it will kind of make more sense. All right, you guys going to do anything? We're going to get some boom chicka wow wow. There we go. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to take off. Probably head down to the mine hoping for a few more diamonds. Really, at this point in time, the blocks are, I've said it before, the blocks are really what I need. I need that blast resistant building material to bridge over to the fortress. At this point in time, my pickaxe is so OP that I'm having to be careful not to do that. But this is a good time to go ahead and open up my ceiling in my stairwell. That way it's smoother going up and down. You know, I really do want to say I appreciate all the views. Uh, the channel is growing really faster than I expected, especially after that first couple. So I appreciate you guys giving me another chance. Trying to figure out what looks right there. There we go. The almost insta mining thing here is about to end with the deep slate, which is actually a little bit easier on me. See, I'm now kind of trigger shy, afraid that it's gonna like seriously create a cavern that I didn't intend to. But the deep slate takes a fraction of a second longer to mine. It would actually be kind of nice to get more gold while I'm down here, but I don't remember getting any gold. And mind you, this is only a few days ago. Uh, I recorded this with the knowledge that I was going to uh, give y'all the history of Minecraft in a little bit of perspective. So I knew that was coming. Um, that's the only reason I'm doing the voiceover on this episode. But it's not like 3 weeks have gone by, so I don't remember what I was thinking or anything. This is kind of tedious, but it does make it a lot easier going up and down. At some point in time, I may go ahead and go do a couple of more, shave a couple of more off of the ceiling, so that when I get my elytra, I can fly up and down. Well, up anyway. Really, it's gliding down. Hate it when I misjudge where I am by just a pixel or two and accidentally knock down a torch. Oh, and my inventory is almost full to begin with, just from that. Yep, I came all the way down here, got like 10 blocks, and headed back up. The blocks are the important part for me right now, so I don't want to like leave a bunch laying on the ground. See, at this point in time, I can almost take a elytra straight up that hallway and smack into the end where it turns. Almost, but not quite. I need to fix that stuff at some point in time, but I still haven't. So, I always have a hard time figuring out what to do with bowls. Inevitably, I almost always end up using them as fuel, but it doesn't really feel right to put them in a chest with coal and lava buckets and all of that. I love it when I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. I almost ended up in the hole with the zombie villager, which will now probably stay there the entire rest of this world's existence. That is so much quicker and smoother. Now I'll need to do something with those steps, but that's only two, so it's not that big a deal. But at some point in time, I'm going to go clear through this mine and make the entire thing look a lot better, I hope. But that will be after I've beaten the Ender Dragon when I start actually like sprucing things up. While I'm here mining, I'll take a moment and just remind you, if you like listening to the old man blabber on, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. I'm arrogant enough to think that I've got some interesting perspectives at times. And I do have long-term goals for this channel, whether I get the views or not. Uh, I plan on at some point in time doing seeing how long I can survive in a Java hardcore. I plan on seeing how long I can survive on 2B2T at some point in time. That might be a fun one. I also plan on showing off my Realms world, um, doing some survival worlds on all of the Bedrock super flat worlds. I'll tell you now, there are going to be a couple of things I start the world off with in creative on those worlds because they just are not available. In uh, Bedrock Hardcore, there are no in not hardcore. Sorry, in Bedrock super flat. There are no villages, no uh, caves, nowhere to get lava. So in order to take it to the going to the end dimension, you literally have to bring your own lava. You have to bring your own end portals. So in any of my super flat worlds, I will be starting off with those two things. Uh, in the water world, I'll be starting off with a sapling. In the rest, it'll probably just be a chest, bonus chest. I hope someday Mojang adds villages to the super flat worlds. That would be pretty cool. When I did super flat in Java, I had full diamond armor within a few days just by riding around on a horse and getting collecting diamonds from blacksmiths. Bedrock, there's just no way to do that. I might also look at some add-ons and mods. My ultimate goal for the channel is kind of to be a Minecraft catch-all, kind of show historically uh, what can be done in Minecraft, what has been done, and all of that. And now I'm just standing here staring at a dark wall. Okay, I'm kind of curious now what I was thinking because this I do not remember. How long am I going to stand here? Like a couple of minutes? 10? 20? Is this the rest of the video? I'm pretty sure it's not, but you never really know. You never really know. There we go. So the whole uh torch trick on gravel sometimes doesn't work right off if what you're dealing with is just two blocks of gravel. I've never had it not work otherwise. If it's more than two blocks, I've never had it not work. I'd also probably like to do some tutorials on the channel just to share the knowledge that I've gotten from different sources. And I will always try to uh, identify where I got the farm. But if a couple come up that I don't remember, uh, I'll be honest about that, and I will absolutely request if you know who originally designed the farm I'm using, put it in the comments and I will actually put it in the description at some point in time. Ironically, I've used this design of Iron Farm for so long now, but that it just comes naturally to me. But I actually found a new one that's pretty interesting that I kind of want to give it a try. Now it's time to go out and check on the village again. I've been away long enough the kid won't have grown up, but I just couldn't spend the entire. Look at that. I just broke the lily pad. There it is. Let's put it over here, see if it stays there. Now looking for protection. I'm also really curious about what these Fletchers are going to end up selling me at the end. Sometimes you can get enchanted air, potion dipped arrows, and if you can get the one with uh, instant health, then that is such a big bonus when you're going up against the weather. I love how the kids push the adults around. It's kind of like my house. Gotta be honest, I like some of the new baby mobs looks. I do not like the baby villagers looks. They kind of look weird to me now. They don't look like villagers, and they really don't look like Steve type characters. They just look really weird. And here my ADHD mind is trying to find something to do. Go ahead and set up the lectern. Think I'm gonna go harvest some sugar cane, make some paper to lock him in when he does grow up. But I think first I'm gonna look for some bones. No bones in there. 6 bone meal. That's not much. What do you got? Nothing really. I'm about to find out that I really, really need to spend some time out on this island so that the mob farm can work, because there's only four bones in there. It will not work if I'm not out here for close enough for mobs to spawn. Because I tell you, that is not nearly as many bone meal as I was hoping for. But there's at least enough paper to lock him in. I always end up doing that, breaking the very last one. One of these days, I need to expand that sugar farm. That's really not big enough. That will barely give me what I need. Yep, just enough to lock him in. Back to standing still. Back to twiddling my thumbs. I wish Minecraft had like a little side motion where when you were just standing still for a certain amount of time, you started twiddling your thumbs with blocky hands. That would look really interesting. Sometimes I can't really tell whether I've like spaced off or whether I'm actually standing there attentively waiting for the villager to grow up, or whether I stepped away to go pee. Maybe grab a snack. Oh, purple, don't go too far. You gonna fish some more? See, if I go too far, he won't grow. If he's out of my range, I can like literally play for a month and come back and he won't have grown up. There, I finally listened to myself. Yep. Nope, nope, nope. I'm still heading out. I think I'm gonna go cut down the tree, get some more emeralds. The good thing is, I think I'm close enough here at my house that they'll stay rendered in. That diamond pickaxe sure does cut through this tree a lot faster than the old stone ones does, doesn't it? There is one other thing that I forgot to add into my uh story of Minecraft. Uh Someone told a like literal TV show movie type thing uh in Minecraft that wasn't actually related to Minecraft, but I can't remember who that was. So if any of you do know who that was, please let me know because that's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about here. That Minecraft just has limitless possibilities. And I don't think any game has come out ever before that had as many potential. I mean, I will say I need to give Hytale a try. But from everything I've seen about it, it's mostly like adventure type stuff, and that kind of limits the possibilities. I mean, to be honest. There we go. Got the tree replanted. It's kind of funny. First few days of a hardcore world, you run into a uh, drowned, and it's definitely worth noting. I just absent-mindedly killed one, didn't even think about saying anything about it. They can end a hardcore world day one. They can end a hardcore world like several days in. But unless you get trapped by a bunch of them underwater and start drowning too, they're not going to end a hardcore world after you've got diamond armor. Grow up, dude. Grow up and get to work. Just what I tell my kids every day. Um, okay, I just cut down a tree. Am I going to trade with the Fletchers? I don't know. They might be kind of expensive right now because I just traded with them. So I might be holding off to give them time to put their price down a little bit. Yeah, the weirdest part for me right now, waiting for the kids to grow up, is they just look so weird. So I'll get used to it eventually, I'm sure. FYI, you only really need 10 villagers to start your iron farm working. So I think once I've got this guy down, I'll put down some probably some armor workstations and some, well, the other smiths, toolsmith and weaponsmith, and just let it go from there. At least until I come across a uh, book that I actually need at the time. Then I'll come back and redo this for another villager. Joy. How fun. But that won't be an entire video of coming back and looking at these guys. There's my ADHD sticking kicking in again. But then I remember I've got something I can do here. Not a whole lot, but something. Love how I just turned around and those two librarians were just right behind me, looked like they were ready to mug me for my paper. Didn't realize paper was that valuable. Yeah, I really would like to have Prot 4 before I go into the Nether. At least Prot 3. Oh, I hadn't realized that. My mending book guy also sells Fortune 3. I'm not going to complain about that. Let's go put Fortune on a couple more pieces of armor. Not Fortune. Did I say Fortune? Not Fortune. Let's go put Mending on a couple more pieces of armor. I think I'm going to finish out my armor with this. Forgot where my anvil was for a second. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. There's my boat. For the most part, I keep my saplings because A, at some point in time, I may need them to make bone meal. B, uh, at some point in time, I may need them for a terraforming project. So you never really know. I'm not buying a crossbow. Let's see. Ah, it keeps skipping over. Ooh, feather falling. Really, dude? I have got mending, fortune, feather falling, and silk touch. That's actually really rare to have four useful books out of two guys. That is like that's mind-boggling. Which means this third villager, I'm going to end up getting protection, and he'll have curse of binding and curse of vanishing and impaling. Almost guarantee it. Minecraft luck just doesn't work that way. I do some fishing, I can go ahead and be fixing my armor while I'm fishing. I ought to put mending on that fishing pole because I think right now it's just got lure and luck at the sea. I'm pretty sure at some point in time I come to that epiphany. Tell you what, once you got a fishing pole, you never need food again, no matter what else you have. Now, I mean, I obviously will not need food one way or the other, but I've got the cows and the sheep if I need them and the chickens. But even if I didn't have those, if I had a fishing pole, I could fill my inventory with fish if I needed to. And the cooked fish isn't that bad a food source either. Not as good as beef, but salmon particularly is pretty good actually. Another couple of lily pads for me to end up destroying with my boat. And he's still a kid. Another thing you can do is once you got all the villagers that you need, get a fisherman. Um, then you could fish outside the iron farm while it's working, sell the fish to the fishermen, and end up with a healthy bunch of diamonds, of emeralds, not diamonds. Man, I wish fishermen sold you diamonds. That would be nice. Instead, you have to get the smiths worked up to give you diamonds. The irony is, I made that fishing pond up there on the island, and I'll probably not use it very much because I'll use the shore off of the monster farm or this right here off of the iron farm. But it still looks good. Mm, lure two? Oh no, now I have lure two and luck of the sea. Now I wish I'd thought right now to go ahead and get a mending book too, but of course I didn't. Usually doesn't take me very long to get to a perfect fishing pole. Always switch your items around to make sure you got the cheapest uh, option there because there's always a discrepancy. Go ahead and put these down, see how long it takes me to go ahead and smack them with a boat. If you wonder why I'm being so specific about my angle right now, I am turning so that I can see that lectern for when it lights up with little green particles. Another lily pad. I mean, lily pads aren't bad. They give you something to walk on water, but also you can use them in a composter too. They're kind of expensive for that because you can't like bone meal them and get more or anything. So it's you're kind of stuck with what you get unless you keep going to swamps to get more. You know, I literally just thought of this, so I guarantee it's not going to happen this episode. But uh, it would actually be kind of cool to have a walk path between the iron farm and my island made out of lily pads with cobblestone on each side. I think that would look pretty sweet. I'd have to doctor up the cobblestone as it got closer to the iron farm to make sure I didn't give the iron golems a place to spawn. But there we go. Now, now we just get to roll this guy for 3 hours to get protection. Fortune, but I just found out I got a Fortune 3 guy, which I need to get put on my pickaxe at some point in time. Piercing. I don't use piercing too much. Fire prot, not good enough. Nope. Punch 2. I never use punch. Never ever use punch. Blast prot. Potentially good, but not good enough. Projectile prot. No. Bookshelf. Breach. Might get a breach guy once I get a mace. If I get a mace on this world. Lunge. With how rare maces are, I'm not guaranteeing that. Looting, that would be worth keeping, but not yet. And now to the point I have to chase him around. Uh, uh, A 10 mending. Wow. After I get everyone I need, that would have been worth keeping. Aqua Affinity again, something that I could probably use, but density again, that's up to whether I get a mace. Riptide. Riptide's kind of fun once you have an Elytra. Quick charge, worthless to me. See all the bookshelves that I could have bought? Respiration 2, that could be useful. Channeling, again for a mob head farm. See, I was threatening there, see if I can get it quicker. But he didn't like the threat, so he's not giving me what I need. Quick charge now. Depth Strider, that's another one that could be useful, just not yet. Smite. Frostwalker. Again, it's really funny. It's really fun to fight the Wither on the water with Frostwalker. Not my preferred way to do it, but it's actually pretty fun to do it that way. Bane, no. Bane of Arthropods is worthless. Lure 2. Once you get a certain amount of villagers, this is like the irritating part of it. Because they apparently want to be considerate enough to not step on each other while they're sleeping. Quick, yeah. I seem to remember that this one didn't take quite as long, though. Yeah, wrong villager guy. Another 10 mending. My mending guys are not very expensive, so I'm really not going to complain. And I'll probably never go for a cheaper one because, I mean, 14's not bad. Breach 5, I mean, that was pretty good. If I had a Mace, Breach 5 would have been pretty cool. Density, because I really think Windburst and Density would be the two that I would really want to go for. Not that I would actually probably use a mace much in like actual gameplay, but you know. Reality is, once you've got the villagers doing what you want, they're really not that bad to deal with. It's this part that is the exhausting part. Fire aspect, that's another one that I'd probably use at some point in time. There's one I'll never use. Flame I would use. You know, I'm getting tired just watching him jump in and out of bed. There we go. Prot 3, that's good enough. So once you have your 10 villagers, in order to produce iron golems, they have to have slept that night and they have to have worked the day before. So I think now I'm looking for stuff to actually make more job blocks for the villagers. Really wasn't well thought out there. I should have gone ahead and grabbed another stack. Not exactly sure what I was coming over here for at this point in time, but it doesn't hurt to be in the area once in a while to let mobs spawn. I think I'm actually currently kind of glancing around at the island, making sure everything's okay. But while my stone is cooking, I would say one of these days I will get to the point where I don't randomly wander around and run to different places that don't actually need to be at. But I really don't think I ever get to that point. So Just noticed I created a whole second stack of wood bowls. That's awesome. See, there was a difference of 19 levels between those two, what order you put them in. Yep. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of dark gray wool beds. I was originally going to just do the light gray as beds, but now I actually need. So I'm going to grab the light gray, but I think I'm going to get the rest of them too. In a survival world where I'm not like so tied up to the specific villagers I need, I'll actually do a uh, shepherd so that I can just buy beds. But I love how I picked the only tree on the island that I've only got one of to make beds out of that don't even require pale oak. I mean, generally pale oak's pretty good about dropping the saplings, not like dark oak. But if it didn't drop all four at this point in time, I'd have to go all the way to another pale oak forest, which I'll have to at some point in time anyway to get some get a heart of the forest or whatever they're called, creaking heart. But there, we got it replanted. I can't get up the ladder. I'm actually, I think, kind of excited that I'm almost done with this part. Looking for cobblestone because it's a little bit cheaper to use than deep slate. But nope, I'll just go with what I got because now I got a few things I got to make. You notice I made quite a bit more furnaces than I actually need, but I'll use them at some point in time. Okay. There is 6 smooth stone. There's enough for 2 blast furnaces. Let's make some planks, a couple of smithing tables. Trying to remember what the third one is at this moment in time, but I actually, it's a weaponsmith, and I'm not sure actually. I'll make it, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not actually sure I need it. I mean, really, if I put put sharpness and looting on my sword and mending, I've got a pretty good sword. So, and I've got plenty of diamonds to make a second one for if I ever fight if I make it to fight the Wither. There's a couple of more Fletchers for uh, I'm gonna go ahead and make a weaponsmith. A couple of more Fletchers there for selling sticks to. Okay, and there's 5 job blocks, so I think I'm gonna. There's more than 5 there, but I need at least 5. So I think we'll probably call it at that. And now head back over. Make some beds. Now I actually need 15 beds because there has to be 20 beds in a village to start producing iron golems. Throw out the sticks. I can always get more if I need them, but I can always pick them back up after. It's actually kind of interesting for me to watch. think this is actually 20. No, not all of the beds will be in use right now, but they'll be there if I need them at some point in time. Now, only one more ingredient. There we go. Get a little bit of boom chicka wow wow going on. I'll eat while I'm watching. Nothing creepy about that. And 15 bread should have given me just enough to give for them to breed up 5 more villagers without breeding extras. And any of those job blocks I put down will be useful for me. See the stupid chest monster starting to rear its ugly head again. It's a battle I constantly face. Okay, let's get a. There's one baby villager. I need 4 more. Keep going, guys. Keep going. There we go. And there we go. There's going to be 2. Only there's. Oh, they're so ugly. Yes, they are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a face only a villager could love. No, no, no! Don't go to bed, guys. Nighttime's when it's supposed to happen. Come on. What's going on? I don't know what that was about. Literally hop out in the boat, go like 10 blocks away, and then come back. Dude, I didn't want to go to bed. Wanted you to move so he can get through. You guys can go back to bed now. Oh, you had to pick a different bed because I there. Okay, I got 4 kids. You guys need to make one more. Come on. So the benefit to Bedrock Iron Farm versus Java Iron Farm, I don't have to collect a zombie to do this. The downside, of course, is that I have to deal with more villagers. But again, if you've got a trading hold, that's really not that bad. So the iron farm will not be finished and producing iron, I don't think, today. But next video, there should be some iron golems dropping. Just a matter of patience at this point in time, which I have very little of. And I've got to stay like nearby so those five babies will actually grow up. Isn't that just amazing? Yeah, but I could do some quality fishing time. I can ignore a bite, but then I get the next one. That's okay. I mean, to be honest, if I fished up a looting three buck, I wouldn't even need a looting villager. I mean, realistically though, a looting three buck wouldn't be bad for a looting three villager wouldn't be bad for when I make my wither sword either, so that would work. They're not grown up. Occasionally, when like you're only a couple of kids away from growing up, the iron golems will start falling, but that's you can't depend on that. Apparently, I got bored of fishing. Need to make some more uh, bookshelves to go above the workstations. Those bookshelves are actually a pretty useful thing Mojang added. If you'll notice, I go back and forth between Mojang and Mojang. Sometimes I'm Swedish, sometimes I'm American. So, but yeah, as soon as these five brats grow up, this thing will be ticking off iron, and then the more villages I add, the more iron it'll produce. In the meantime, I get to watch five of these ugly little kids run around. But all five of them will grow up into something that I can actually use. and that is amazing. I guess another downside of the Java Bedrock farm is you got two villagers that you're really not going to be using too much of. You're not going to be buying from very often. Same with the village. This actually works as a villager breeder too. So that's a beautiful island. I need to continue around with the deep slate wall, but it definitely looks good to me for now. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Fact is, I'm the only one that it's got to look good for. Am I emptying this out for a specific purpose? I think I'm done with the bread for right now, so I'm going ahead and taking the hay bales. Go put some stuff up. There, my tree grew again. Imagine if trees grew as fast in real life as they do in Minecraft. We would not have any kind of uh, ecological problem from cutting down trees because we could just plant another one, and 5 minutes later we'd have a whole big old redwood grown up there. Man, that iron farm's not going to come anytime too soon. Is that the expression? Because I noticed I was down to 22 iron at the moment. As I place down more beds, I'll finish this in. Think I'm preparing for the end of the day. You know, it's day 69. It's a great day. I just wish I'd have had more fun on day 69 because it's not a great day to not have fun. Yeah, at this point in time, I'm just trying to kill the day, stay close enough to the iron farm that it'll produce, that they'll grow up. But so I think I've already said it this video, but like and subscribe and watch the beautiful sunset over the Minecraft